Pirates fans donning their Sunday best coming to the ballpark, and at the end of the game they hope to raise it as the Pirates go for a 3-game sweep over the Milwaukee Brewers. Hi again, everybody, along with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Inch-Mikowski joins me shortly. It starts with the pitching, and Bob, the Pirates' starting pitching has been very good so far in many categories.
It's been very good, and the goal going into the season is to win the division. And if you're really going to be serious about winning a division, this is where it's all going to start with the starters. You can't do anything without a good starting rotation, and right now it's looking like the Pirates' starting rotation is going to end up being very good.
Barrel Automotive stat, and you see still a lot of ground balls, 53.1% in the ground ball percentage. A guy who's racking up some strikeouts in the early going, looks very, very good. Right-hander Garrett Cole, he gets the call today.
Well, Cole is probably going to end up being the top guy on this club. He certainly has that stuff. I think everybody expects that of him. And not only is he going to be the top guy eventually on this team, but he's going to be one of the top 2 or 3 pitchers in baseball. We have mentioned this before, and from what I understand, after that Tiger game the other day, the Tiger players just raving about what kind of pitcher Cole is becoming.
Well, Cole tamed the Tigers on opening day. He hopes to help the Pirates broom the Brewers. He'll oppose Matt Garza. A couple of guys getting into the offense. The corner outfielders, the Dominican dynamic duo, Gregory Polanco and Starling Marte. Marte with home runs in back-to-back games. Bucks and Brewers, first pitch coming up.
On Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
First Kids Day Sunday of the season at PNC Park. Bounce house out on Federal Street, one of the main attractions. And Andrew McCutcheon's socks to kids 14 and younger today. Hutch will show off his socks as he runs out to center field. Different kind of socks. And Starling Marte with some socks he's showing off of his own stirrups. 5 for him, and Marte swinging a very good bat the last couple of days. First time he's had back-to-back games with home runs since May 4th and 5th of the 2013 season. Garrett Cole with a little early direction. And a selfie with Kutch. Let's take a look now at the Brewers lineup. It is brought to us by Honda. Gene Segura back in the leadoff spot today. And Jonathan Lucroy, Ryan Braun hits third. Adam Lynn, cleanup hitter. Chris Davis, 4 for 8 this series with a double and a run batted in. Gerardo Parra, Scooter Gennett. Luis Jimenez will play third base. And Matt Garza does the pitching. Bats ninth, facing the right-hander Garrett Cole.
Take a look now at Garrett's numbers. Very, very good. Strikeouts at 14 in just 11 innings. That's a nice number sync for Garrett. Looking at some of the stats that we get every day, noticing that the slider has really been a big strikeout pitch for him. And I know he's been trying to work some fastballs, or has worked fastballs upstairs a little bit more frequently toward the end of last year and then the beginning of this year. And they may be paying off with more chases, more swings and misses on that slider.
The defense behind Garrett Cole this afternoon, represented by Honda, Marte, McCutchen, Polanco in the outfield. Harrison, Mercer, left side of the infield, the right side Walker and Alvarez. Chris Stewart makes his 2015 debut behind the plate, says his hamstring feels great. And he is 100% now and ready to go, as he'll catch his first game this year. Debuting about the same time he did last year after starting the season on the DL. He had a different problem with a knee last year. Good crowd on this Kids Day Sunday afternoon. The Pirates have taken the series, winning the first 2 games, looking for a 3-game sweep. And Garrett Cole to pitch to Gene Segura to start things off. First ball swinging, and a ground ball to Walker. Pedro with the scoop.
Well, Pedro's looking more and more comfortable over at first base, isn't he? Made that real sweet play on the ground ball last night's game where he had to feed it to Locke. And now makes a little play in the dirt. Looked pretty easy. He waited to make that stride until he saw exactly what direction that ball was coming from, step to the baseball, make the play.
1 pitch and 1 down for the Brewers in the top of the first. Jonathan Lucroy played first base and hit third in last night's game. Back to his customary 2 spot, off to a slow start. Drove in his first run of the season last night. 0-1 pitch. Now it's 0-2. That one fouled into the dugout.
That one got in there deep.
In the kitchen.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole gets ahead of Lucroy. No balls and 2 strikes. Bit of a breeze today. The last couple of nights very still in terms of that. But windy today. Flags are on the move. They had a rest the last 2 days.
Like it's always a little breezy in the afternoon games.
Down to Jayhay. Dropped it. That'll be an error on Josh Harrison. The Pirates had gone a season best 71 and a third innings of error-free baseball. The last time they had a streak like that, May of 2012, they had 72 innings without making an error.
Jayhay maybe have just been trying to be a little too quick. He had a lot more time than he realized. Another good pitch though by Cole. He buried that fastball inside on the hands.
1 on and 1 out for Milwaukee. Ryan Braun up. Braun last night hit in the leadoff spot for the first time in his career. He had done so in the minor leagues, but not very much. It was just before he was called up full time by the Brewers. Last few games in the minors in AAA when he hit leadoff. But last night ended up going 2 for 3, hit by a pitch in the 9th inning by Archimedes Caminero. After McCutchen was hit by a pitch the 7th inning by Tyler Thornburg. One ball and no strikes to Braun. It's a good thing he wears a knee brace of some sort, because he got that 97-mile-an-hour fastball right there. It's a tough looking swing. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cole's been getting some real good movement on his fastball. Look at the bottom fall out of that one. He can throw you a straight one upstairs, or he can put that 2-seam action on him. Do it with velocity, obviously.
1-2 to Braun.
Seeing a lot of that in his first couple of starts. Swing and a miss on that breaking ball.
Come in on him again. 1-2. Struck him out. Strikeout number 1 for Garrett Cole. He gets Braun.
Elevated that fastball. There's so many different weapons that Cole has at his disposal because of the power in his arm. Oh. Breaking ball down about 85, and then add 10 mile an hour to it and throw it at the letters.
Adam Lynn did not play last night. He takes low ball 1. Lynn, the offseason acquisition from Toronto. Playing for the Blue Jays, and then the Brewers and Jays made a trade. Marco Estrada, pitcher, going the other way. 1-0. The ground ball toward the middle. Past a diving Walker out of the center field. Lucroy is around second and into third. So runners at the corners and 2 outs. And Adam Lynn continues to hit the baseball well. He's now 12 for 37.
Really turning out early on to be a fine pickup. They had a position that needed somebody. Turning out right now, early season, to be their best hitter.
Well, he has been. He tied a franchise record hitting in the first 9 straight games. Tied Paul Molitor and Dave Parker. Two outs, Chris Davis, the batter. And Davis will take ball 1. Davis, 308 hitter, no homers and 2 runs batted in. He's had some success this series. And Hurdle mentioning to me today that they might change the way they shift on him for this game. They've noticed some different things, that Davis has made adjustments, and Pirates therefore will make adjustments defensively. 2 balls and no strikes.
I think now that shifts are such a big part of the game, that's going to be one of the topics of discussion anytime you're going in and having a series against a new team, is what hitters do they have that have made the adjustments and will take the hit the other way, or have the ability to even do that.
2-0 pitch to Davis. 3-0. First and third, 2 outs, top of the first, and now Cole falls way behind Chris Davis. Ray Searage, Pirates pitching coach, keeping an eye on his pupil as we continue to see start after start Garrett Cole develop. 3-0 pitch. He was ripping for it and knocked it foul, backing out of play. Davis figuring he was going to get something good to hit on that 3-0 pitch.
Well, he saw a 2-0 off-speed pitch in the third, which got him in the driver's seat.
Three-one inside. He walked it. Bases loaded. 2 outs. The bases are full. Gerardo Parro will now come up to face Garrett Cole.
You're playing with a little bit of fire early in a ball game like this, trying to be so fine, and you're a power guy throwing 2-0 off-speed pitches. You risk the base on balls, and now you get two guys in scoring position. Any kind of a little scratch single to the outfield puts you down 2 runs early. You'd like to see Cole, especially with the stuff he has, be a little more aggressive in that strike zone, no matter who's up there early in a ball game.
Parr a little surprised at that call by Jeff Nelson. And still chatting about it a little bit. 0-1 to Parr, playing center field. Carlos Gomez will be on the disabled list for a while longer with a hamstring injury. Strike 2. Parr in the hole, 0-2. Bases loaded, 2 down. And the 0-2. In the air left, long run for Marte. He's got a handle on it. Starling Marte runs it down. Give that man a souvenir. First time, and this is what the lineup looks like. Brought to us by Toyota. Josh Harrison leading off. Gregory Polanco in the 2 spot. Andrew McCutchen 3rd. Walker cleanup. Marte 5th. Alvarez 6th. Jordy Mercer bats 7th. Chris Stewart in the 8 hole today. And Garrett Cole will bat 9. And the Pirates facing right-hander Matt Garza.
Garza will use his fastball an awful lot. Not really a super hard thrower, has a good fastball, low 90s, but he kind of has a style of pitching like he's a power pitcher. Off to a poor start. Opponent batting average up there over 300.
Garza's ERA 4.22. He is 76 and 76 in his career in terms of wins and losses. Jay takes a strike. Garrett Cole and Chris Stewart conferring on the bench. And Cole is fortunate really to get out of that inning unscathed as Jay knocks one into center field. A base hit for Harrison, and the Pirates have the leadoff man aboard.
Jay trying to get something started here in the first inning. Pirates haven't been a good first inning team, but they have been doing okay recently.
Well, last night 3 runs in the first, and it was sparked by a leadoff base hit by Harrison. So he's aboard here this afternoon. Gregory Polanco, 262 batter. run-scoring double in the game last night. Game 2 of this series. River Casino tips to win.
Well, the one thing there, get ahead and look fastball. Garza, to this point this year, every time he falls behind, he's throwing 85% fastballs. I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, you can really lock in on it. And it's a day game. Let's hit some home runs. The ball early in the season travels much better here during the day, a little warmer than in the evenings. I think the guys are going to hit a couple over the fence. Maybe Polanco. You know, this lineup that they put together, it could be anybody.
A little swinging bunt. This will be a tough play for Jimenez, and Polanco will be safe. The ball hit him. Jay goes to third base. And the Pirates have runners on the corners with nobody out.
Polanco didn't realize it, but he could have just rounded first and ran to second. The ball hit him in the elbow, and that's all he can think about right now is how that's hurting. But the shortstop goes to third. Second baseman's chasing the ball. You could see Nick Leyva pointing towards second base, probably yelling at him, go to second, go to second. But that ball right on the point of the elbow had all of Polanco's attention. That one had the sting.
It'll be a base hit for Polanco. Here is McCutchen.
Looked like a wheel play with the shortstop going to third, the second baseman running over behind first.
And Kutch almost got Jay with one.
Take a look at what we're talking about after this ball is hit. You see that you got the shortstop Segura. He's going to break this way. The second baseman is running out here to get the thing, and there is nobody in the middle of the field. But when you just took a ball off the not so funny bone.
This one to the backstop, and the Pirates have a 1-0 lead. Jay in to score.
This is just how you'd love to start this ball game. Got out of a little bit of a jam there in the first inning, and then get the offense rolling right away. One run in, and Kutch hadn't hit yet.
Nobody out. A 1-ball, 1-strike pitch from Garza. Two and one. Well, Gregory got down to second regardless, but had he been down there originally,
could be a third.
He'd be a third.
But again, I don't blame him too much though, after taking that hit off the elbow that took him a while to get his bearings back.
Two and two to McCutchen. Great vantage point for a pitcher. That'll make a great shot. 2-2. McCutchen's average steadily climbing. He'll climb out of the twos at some point, but right now in the low twos. He's got the McCutchen dreadlocks on. Kutch doesn't have them anymore. A base hit, and Polanco is going to get waved home. The throw from the outfield will be cut off. It's 2-0. An RBI base hit for Andrew McCutchen.
Well, that's I think a real good read by Rick Solfield, the third base coach. Even though there's nobody out and you want to be conservative, this base hit toward the gap, you have speed, you can see that the outfielder's not going to get to the ball, even though Polanco waited, made sure it was through. Not going to be able to get to the ball until he's almost at third. With his speed, he's not going to get thrown out.
Sofield works for the base runners.
Real good read on that one. You always want to be aggressive, but you want to be aware of what's going on, the outs and all that stuff too. But with Polanco there, that wasn't really taking a chance at all. He's going to score easy.
Smiles early on in that Pirate dugout. 2-0 lead, bottom of the first inning. McCutchen at first base and nobody out. Neil Walker hitting. Ball 1 to Neil. Todd Tomczyk took a peek at the left elbow of Gregory Polanco after he was hit. Running down to first base. Polanco shaking it off. 2:31. A home run for Walker happened a week ago in Milwaukee. 3-run homer late in that game against the Brewers. 2-0. And it's 3-0.
Walker only 1 base on balls so far this season. Usually that number is a little higher. Neil got a pretty good eye.
3-0. He'll take that one for a strike. The Pirates with 2 runs on the board in the first inning. Had 3 in the first last night. Entering this series, Pirates hadn't scored much, if at all, in the first inning, but they've got 5 first inning runs so far in this series with the Brewers. Marte on deck. Is 3-1. Did he swing? No, that's ball 4. 4 men have come to the plate, and all 4 have reached base. Still nobody out, bottom of the first inning. And really, this is where the Pirates just have to bear down. You've got to take advantage of this early opportunity, rack up some more runs, add on here.
Now, Marte was swinging a pretty good bat. He's hit, 3 home runs off these guys? But he's also, a speed guy. And right now, if you look down where Lind is playing, first baseman, he's playing back. A little push bunt to that side. I can see Marte maybe beating that out. In worst case scenario, he got second and third and 1 out.
And Alvarez up next.
I think they just got a hold of Lind. The dugout did. Now they've moved him in on the edge of the grass. They just called him in. They didn't like that either.
Marte takes inside for a ball. A career high 5 runs batted in the game last night for Starling. His previous best was 3. Did that a couple of times. And he's now the club leader in RBIs with 9.
You see Lind in on the grass over at first base. After a strike, he might move back now. Yep, so he's backpedaling.
Here comes the 1-ball 1-strike pitch. Marte fouls it off. It's 1-2.
Pedro on deck. And he's got some pretty nice numbers against Garza, so this could be shaping up to a heck of an inning.
Marte with good numbers against the Brewers. Alvarez good numbers against the Brewers, and especially Garza. Still 1-2. Marte is 2 for 5 against Garza. 400 hitter against him. Tuesday, Sunday, Big day for the kids here at PNC Park. Always every Sunday home game. Did he go? Yes, he did, says Laz Diaz. Marte goes down on strikes, 1 out.
Not much doubt about that swing.
Good look on the Allegheny Health Network Supermall. So Marte is out.
Marte thinking that was going to be a breaking ball. Fastball way inside. He started the bat and it just never moved. He tried to stop it, but it was too late.
Pedro Alvarez, 3 home runs on the year. 2 of them have been in day games. And he has had more home runs against the Brewers than any other team he's played against. 16 homers against Milwaukee.
Got ahead in the count now. Let's see if he gets a fastball to hit.
One of those homers against Garza. 8 for 18 against him. One 1-0 to Alvarez. 1 out, 2 on, 2 in. 2-0.
One thing for sure, no matter what happens the rest of this inning, at least you got Garza to throw quite a few pitches. Number 23 now coming up. Still just that 1 out.
And it's 3-0 now to Alvarez. Well, last night, kind of a similar deal with Kyle Loesch. They had 28 pitches off Loesch in the first inning.
Definitely on that pace. Unless he gets a double play somewhere, he's going to reach up there at 28.
3-1 now to Pedro. Garrett Cole has a 2-run lead right now and hoping it's more. This one well struck to left field. Davis back there to get it. Nobody's able to move up. 2 men out.
He made it pretty good, even though he sticks with the fastball. The last 2 that he threw, he put them in decent spots. The 3-0 pitch right in the outside corner, and this last one outside half down toward the knees. So that's the thing about Garza. Even though he does throw a lot of fastballs, he moves it around, in and out, up and down, and you can almost make just using location, make a fastball work. Has more than just 1 pitch.
Jordy Mercer batting .212. Fastball for a strike. Still looking for home run number 1. Here's Jordy. McCutchen at second base. Walker behind him at first. And the pitch coming from Garza. 1-1. I talked to Clint today about a patient approach, and he said, no, not really. It's not really a patient approach. If they don't give you strike 1 or strike 2, basically looks like they're being patient, but they're trying to be aggressive, looking for pitches in the zone. And this one looped to Jeanette, and that's going to do it. Pirates get a couple of runs on 3 hits as Josh Harrison leads off with a single. Gregory Polanco gets on. They both come around to score. 2-0 after 1.
Best Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Throw me a ball. It's my 8th birthday. Well, you're in the right place. The UPMC scoreboard. Pirates 2, Brewers nothing. Top of the 2nd inning. A well-dressed young man right there. And Jay Hay got it started in the bottom of the 1st inning with a base hit. 2nd game in a row he has done that. Just a great scene here in Pittsburgh. One of the most picturesque, if not the most picturesque ballparks in the world. Another great crowd on hand here today. Scooter Gennett fouls this one back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cole doing a pretty good job at this point, using that fastball occasionally upstairs on these guys. There's been some jam shots, some swings and misses up there.
One is stroked into center field by Gennett. Leadoff single for the Brewers' 2nd baseman.
That breaking ball, it took a lot off that one. It was down to 81 miles an hour. Going to try and make the catch here, but maybe his heart wasn't totally in it. Body was going one way, the glove was going the other.
Luis Jimenez on 3rd base today takes a strike. Yeah, that ball's coming back at you in the blink of an eye, though. That's a tough play anyway.
Yeah, those balls are leaving the bat just as hard as Cole throws it.
2-1 ground ball foul.
In some cases, it come off the bat a lot harder than you threw it.
You've been hit. You've had plenty of close calls. So how do you know when it's real close? Does it sound different when it comes back at you?
Well, I never took my eye off the plate, so I always could just see it. I was pretty good about defending myself, except for maybe about mid-thigh down. I took some pretty good hits off the shins, things like that, but I didn't let anything hit me up high.
Cole's 1-2 will wait. Throw to first. Gennett jumps back. What's the worst one you ever got?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't think I ever really got one that made me miss time or anything like that. You just end up getting a nice bruise, kind of like getting as a hitter getting drilled. Plate.
This one to left field. That's going to be down for a hit. Marte will come up with it. Gennett heading for 3rd. Marte will. Oh, he would have had him. The throw was there in time, but came out of Jay Hay's glove, and a double for Jimenez.
Well, I wonder if they'll even give him a double.
They may give him a base hit based on this throw.
Yeah, I want the 2nd on a throw to 3rd. And I'm not sure. You think if he holds on, will he be out or not?
I think if he holds on, he's got him. I think that ball got there in time. So it will be a single for Jimenez and 2nd on the throw. So 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. And Garza at the plate. Let's see, get another look at it. I think he's got him if he holds on. Right, he would have tagged him there on the hip.
Would have been close. Normally, Jay very sure-handed. He had a couple come out of the glove today. First inning, the ground ball that it came out when he was reaching in for it. And the throw looked like it caught right back on the heel of the glove, popped out. Didn't get it in the pocket.
Garza out on strikes. First base is open, so they got to have the throw down there. 2-3 the put out. So one down. And back to the top of the order for Milwaukee. Save big when you use your Giant Eagle Advantage card this season. Save up to $10 on tickets for every Sunday home game when you show your Giant Eagle Advantage card at the PNC Park ticket windows or go to pirates.com/advantage card. Works on kids' days as well, like today. Make sure to use your Giant Eagle Advantage card. It's discount Sunday. 1 out, 2 on. Gene Segura grounded out to Walker at first base. First time up, he takes a strike. Reached back for that one at 98.
Now he wants a strikeout badly here. He doesn't want the ball put in play. Runner just 90 feet away.
0-1 pitch, ground ball to short. This will get a run in. Segura drives in Jeanette, and the lead's cut in half. It's 2-1. RBI number 4 for Segura. Jimenez down to third base.
Not having the success on that breaking ball that he had the other day. The swings and misses haven't been there yet.
And 2-1. Here we are, top of the second inning. Brewers get on the board. Tying runs 90 feet away. Lucroy reached on an error by Josh Harrison in the first inning. Josh chatting with third base umpire Corey Blazer. Nothing in 2. 96 miles an hour that time for Garrett.
It is challenging there. I mean, that was middle of the plate and about belt high. Luke Roy not swinging the bat very well right now.
0-2 pitch.
It's always kind of spooky though when you're pitching against a guy like that. That's somebody that's had a lot of success with the bat in years past, and now he's off to a slow start. And you're always thinking, well, is this going to be the at bat where he starts on the road back? You know what's going to happen. He's going to get hot. When will it be?
Close just off the outside edge. Well, he can start tomorrow. That's just not today.
Wait till he leaves. Just a little outside. That's what he was doing last year at this time.
Same numbers, just in a different order. And a bouncer to third. Backing up is Harrison. Long throw to first, and Pedro can't scoop it. Jimenez comes in to tie the game. It's 2-2.
The Pirates just not able to help themselves out to this point on defense. A tough in between hop for Pedro. Wouldn't stick in the glove. See if he would have caught it, it would have been out by quite a bit.
That is ruled a base hit and an RBI for Lucroy. A throw that, if it's straight, gets him. I'm surprised that they didn't charge an error to Harrison.
Apparently they felt that the degree of difficulty of making that long throw made it a base hit.
Well, the Brewers get him back. 2-2. Ryan Braun at the plate. Throw to first. Braun struck out swinging in the first inning. 4 hits for the Brewers. And a strike to Braun. 0-2. Braun had 2 hits last night. Cole tries to get him out. Went after him on the 0-2 pitch and got him to foul it off. He's still 0-2.
He definitely had, the way that Len on deck is swinging the bat, being a left-handed hitter. You don't want him to get to the plate this inning. End it now.
Ground ball towards short. Mercer's there. He flips to Walker. They get the force out of Lucroy. 2 runs come in on 3 hits. And it's a 2-2 ball game after an inning and a half. Sidney Crosby, a very good game. Tied here 2-2 on a Kids Day Sunday afternoon. Bottom of the 2nd inning, Chris Stewart, his first plate appearance of the season. And Stewart will take a strike. Stewart said he was swinging a good bat on his rehab in AA and in AAA. Felt very confident coming into today's game. .228 the average, 8 home runs, 61 RBIs in his career. Former Yankee backup, now backing up here in Pittsburgh. And a bouncer to third. Jimenez plays the easy hop. 1 out.
Dave Cole get his bat going.
Help himself.
He has really shown to be a pretty good hitting pitcher. Probably get a couple fastballs to hit here. After that last inning, he's probably not in a real good mood. Wants to get something done.
He was 0 for 4 on the season. Garzer's 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeff Locke, an outstanding game last night, one of his best as a big leaguer. A.J. Burnett will go tomorrow night opposite Jake Arrieta when the Cubs come in for the first of a 4-game set. And a strike, 1-2. Do you agree with that about Locke, Bob, that was one of his best, if not his best game as a big leaguer?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not really talking about the the stats or anything. Just the command of his pitches and stuff he had was totally outstanding.
Faced 3 over the minimum through 8. Retired 23 of the final 25 he faced. Clint said today that his game started after the first 2 hitters. Said it started with the 3rd hitter of the game. Cole up in the air, foul, first base side, out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes to Cole. Matt Garza, another Californian out of Fresno. And fills up the count at 3-2.
Yeah, even if Cole doesn't get a hit here or anything like that, it's just watching him take a quality at bat. I mean, these are little things that pitchers should learn to do. No, he worked the base hit. Even if he made it out there, he made him throw a bunch of pitches.
With 1 out, Cole draws the walk. Reserve your seats to the most in-demand games this year with a 12-pack plan. The Flex Pack gives you the flexibility to personalize your plan by selecting the games that best fit your schedule. Fans can lock in the best prices and seating locations to high-demand games. Plus, fans who purchase a 12-pack plan receive a postseason ticket pre-sale opportunity. Go to Pirates.com/12-pack. Get your 12-pack plan. It's Gunner's Lounge just below where we are in the TV booth. Nothing in 1 to Josh Harrison. Good at bat. Patient at bat for Garrett Cole. Earned his way aboard.
Yeah, I thought he would be there. A little upset about that last thing. Maybe a little aggressive swinging at everything, but it certainly wasn't that. He waited, very patient, took his walk.
Josh has done a good job against the Brewers, especially here at PNC Park. He's hit safely in 12 of his last 13 home games against Milwaukee. Takes that one outside. 1-2. Garza did not pitch against the Pirates last weekend, so this is the first time they've seen him this year. He was 2-2 against the Pirates in his career. 8 starts. This is his 9th start against Pittsburgh. A 1 out and 1 on for the Bucks. 2-2 ball game in the bottom of the 2nd. And Jay lifts this one toward the left field corner. That's down and rolling. Davis cuts it off with a track. Cole around 2nd. He goes into 3rd, and Jay into 2nd.
Jay had a little hook on that ball, moved it away from Davis. That was very nice to see, and a lot of props here to Jay. Able to jump on that fastball 94 and hook it down into the corner. But again, Cole, that good at bat as a pitcher, helping himself out. And now the Pirates in a position to retake the lead. We're just 1 out in the game, 2nd and 3rd. He's watching it. You saw him from his vantage point. He could easily see the ball start to hook At that point, he knew, okay, I could take off now and cruise on into third.
Polanco's 1-for-1, takes one in the dirt.
Cole, he's a baseball player, not just a guy that goes out and does something on the mound. He enjoys the game, all facets of it.
Batting gloves in his back pocket. Jammed in there. Looks like a ball player. Polanco, hot smash to Segura. And Polanco's going to be safe.
Looked like Segura, after he retrieved the baseball, took a quick look to see what Cole was doing. And with Polanco, you're not going to have that kind of time. If he would have went right to first base, he might have had it out. But I think I saw Segura hesitate just out of curiosity. Where's Cole? Just as he picks up the ball right there. Yeah, see him look over to third? The time it took him to look at third, that's what cost him the out at first. Right there. You see him looking? Just a little blink of an eye, like half a second, and Polanco's by the bag by half a step. Oh, he's not going on contact. They told him make sure the ball is through. So the first thing he does is go back to the bag, and he's not going anywhere until he sees that ball roll out to the outfield.
It is ruled an error on Segura. Bases loaded for McCutchen. And he is in the hole, 0-2.
Polanco, he knows he's got a chance. He gets those big long legs going. Doesn't seem like there's that many steps for him to get from home to first.
That's such an advantage with those long legs, and they move so fast coming out of the left-hand batter's box. Well, McCutchen, no balls, 2 strikes, base is full. Go ahead run 90 feet away, and a 2-2 ball game. It's in the dirt for ball 1. Garrett Cole, the runner at third base. Josh Harrison is at second. And Gregory Polanco over at first. Andrew McCutchen.
Garza already about to make his 50th pitch in this game.
1-2. Kutch pops this one up. This will be playable for Lucroy. Makes the catch. It's a second time in 2 games Kutch has done that. Popped up to the catcher. McCutchen is out, 2 gone, and an RBI opportunity for Neil Walker.
Need that clutch 2-out hit.
Walker drew a base on balls in the first inning. Strike 1 to Neal. Breaking ball from Garza. Garza set, Neal 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two grand slams in the career of Neil Walker. One came on opening day in Chicago a couple of years back. This one is looped over the third base dugout up into the seats for strike 2.
Take a single right now. Just get something out of this inning. It's a little too promising there for a while to come up with nothing.
Pittsburgh kid as the base is full of bucks. 2 down and a 1-2 count. The pitch struck him out. Walker goes down swinging. The Pirates leave him loaded after 2 full. It's a 2-2 ball game.
No stranger to charitable causes, but on Friday, his Wins for Kids program may receive their most special donation yet.
Dear Mr. Hurdle, thank you for taking the time to meet me. You're welcome. I hope the money I raise will help lots of kids. Please tell Maddie I said hi. I will do that tonight or tomorrow morning. She might be asleep tonight. I brought some cookies for you and my favorite players. Please tell them I said hi. You sure do work hard. Go Bucks from Jacob Hugh.
That's 9-year-old Jacob Hall. Clint correct himself after that. He's from Edinboro. And Jacob raised over $2,500 in lieu of birthday presents and delivered it there to Clint personally before the game on Friday. Now, why did he do this? Well, Jacob has autism and likes the idea of helping other kids through the Wins for Kids campaign. Now, as if the story doesn't get any better, Jacob knows that Clint likes to chew bubblegum. So he brought the skipper his own bag of Big League Chew, and Clint has it in his pocket and has been chewing it the last couple days in the dugout. Now, if you tune in to Inside Pirates Baseball next Saturday, it's April 25th after the game in Arizona, you'll get the full story right after Pirates postgame. And how about that? Today is Autism Awareness Day, Tim and Bob, and a great story with 9-year-old Jacob Hall from Edinboro and involving that man, Clint Hurdle, with the money going to the Wins for Kids charity.
Looking forward to seeing the whole story. Inside Pirates Baseball. That'll be terrific.
There's been a lot of runs in that Big League Chew the last couple days.
Yeah, keep it coming. Need some more. Pirates had an opportunity in the bottom of the second. Things went by the boards, scoreless. Adam Lind up to start things off for the Brewers in the top of the third. Cole shakes.
Yeah, you have these feelings all throughout the ball game all the time when you're sitting over there in the dugout. And right now, Pirates can't be feeling all that great. You had the 2-run lead, and then boom, it disappeared immediately the next inning.
And then down the left field line, long run from Marte, and he will run out of room.
And then that inning, you get the bases loaded, and you got your 3-4 hitters coming up, and you got nothing out of it. So a little disappointment, I'm thinking. But it's the momentum, the way the game feels can switch so fast. It can go right over on the other side. All you need is for Cole to have a nice quick 1, 2, 3 inning, and then you're right back feeling the momentum maybe shifting back toward you.
Ebbs and flows.
Yeah, the pitching and the defense feeds off the offense and vice versa.
2-2 to Adam Lind. And singled in the first. Pops this one up over near the Pirate dugout. No. And that'll be over the dugout. All right.
Hey, there's Roman. Little bull.
That's the little bull right there. Mini Pedro
was down in Brighton for a while in spring training.
He's got to use a thicker magic marker, I think, to get it like the real guy.
He's looking good.
Swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Lind. One out.
Elevated fastball at 98. That'll put up a K. Speed and location. Upstairs, 98.
Cole now will face Chris Davis. So that time he agreed with the first sign that Stewart put down. And when you're out there as a pitcher, Bob, and you're shaking your catcher off, what goes through your head? Why do you shake? Why do you think
not putting down what I want to throw?
Okay,
that's why.
But he's putting down what he wants you to throw.
I'm the one throwing the ball, so that doesn't matter.
He likes the fastball.
Catchers are all hitters too, you know.
Got him. Strikeout number 4. See, he threw it. Stewart wanted.
Stewart put down what he wanted to throw.
Both statements are true.
Tomorrow, who's got the W or L next to his name? Will it be Stewart or Cole?
It'll be the pitcher.
Right.
Okay.
So he's the one that makes the decision on what to throw. It's his ultimate responsibility. There's a lot of catchers out there that don't feel that way. But
who does, if a pitcher pitches a great game in his post-game interviews, who's the first guy he gives credit to? Catcher. Called a great game tonight.
Not me.
You never gave your catchers credit?
No. They kept the ball off the backstop. That was good.
Maybe another day we'll tell the story how you called a game without even being in the game. Another story for another day.
My favorite thing was shaking off.
And Parra takes a strike.
There's a few years where I used to do the old brush of the uniform.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Brush up top to add and down your leg for to subtract. That way you didn't have to shake off nothing. They put down a 1. You wanted to throw a curveball. You just gave one brush and threw it.
No cross up. Garrett agrees. Here's the 2-2. Fouled back. A lot of the young guys out here today. 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And he got him. Garrett Cole strikes out the side.
Momentum shift. Back to the Pirates. Hey, Roman.
Little Pedro likes it. Charlie Marte, what a series so far. Hopes to continue that this afternoon as he faces Garza and takes a strike. Marte did strike out his first time up. Was Charlie Marte. 3 home runs and club leader in RBIs with 9. Garza, the pitch. And strike 2. Nothing in 2 to Marte. Francisco Cervelli the day off today with Stewart catching. Day game after the night game. Here comes the 0-2. Marte hits a chopper. Oh, barehand play by Garza. That might have been a hit for Marte, perhaps in the infield, but Garza, a good barehanded play, and there's 1 out.
One of the things that you try to tell yourself not to do is put that bare hand up there, but just a reaction. You're not really thinking about it.
Paid off for Garza. And now Pedro Alvarez up. Fly to left first time. Segura playing him toward the middle. .243 the average for Pedro. Two balls, no strikes. There they are. There's the side-by-side of the lookalikes.
Little Bull. He is an amazing baseball fan.
And Pedro hits this one well to center field. Parra going back at the track, at the wall. El Toro strikes again. 3-2 Pirates.
Now Garza put that one on a tee for him, and Alvarez hit it like it was on a tee. That's right. Strong like a bull.
Home run number 4 for Pedro. Ole. That's his second career homer off of Garza. Pirates back in front. Breaking ball taken for a strike by Jordy Mercer.
Watch the location of this pitch.
Center cut.
Yeah. Perfect height. I mean, this couldn't ask for a better pitch to hit.
Segura throws out Mercer. 2 down.
Now every time you throw one in the middle, the plate doesn't leave the yard, but occasionally they will end up in the bullpen.
Of the 4 home runs that Pedro has this year, 3 have been daytime home runs. Since the start of 2012, Pedro leads all National League players with 37 daytime home runs.
Loves the day.
That's it. Pedro. Nothing in 1 to Chris Stewart. He bounced out to Jimenez at third base in the second inning. Well, nothing in 2 to Chris. Chris said that he treated the hamstring very well, and that let it heal. That's the big key with that injury, is you have to let it heal right. If you do that, you won't have any problems later on. But if you don't let it heal right, you rush it, it can linger. Chris told me today he was very happy with how things have turned out. 1-2 pitch.
Garza got pretty good velocity today. His average velocity is usually around 92. He's thrown a lot of 93s, 94s. He's touched 95 a couple of times. Throwing hard.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Chris Stewart. Let's that one go. 2-2. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. It's blowing in.
How many pitches Garza's already thrown? He's not out of the 3rd inning yet. He's getting close to 70. He's throwing hard, but it just does not look like he's going to spend a lot of time on the mound. Won't go very deep in this game.
Stewart down the right field side. Foul and out of play.
He's on the pace to hit the century mark in pitches after 5 innings.
Well, 2-2 is low. Got a lot of deep counts. It's gone 2-2, 3-2, and a number of hitters. Garza, former Minnesota Twin, Tampa Bay Ray, Chicago Cub. Also played with the Rangers. Jeanette backpedaling into the outfield grass will make the catch. The Pirates are done in the 3rd. Pedro Alvarez, home run number 4. It traveled an estimated 411 feet. And this gives the Pirates a 3-2 lead.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross, Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
3-2 Pirates, top of the 4th inning with Robbie Inchmakowski and Bob Walker. I'm Tim Neverett. Pedro Alvarez for the center field wall for home run number 4. And the Bucks back in front by a run. Got a game-changing swing. Scooter Gennett 1 for 1. Singleton scored in the 2nd inning. He takes a strike on the inside edge.
Cole striking out the side last inning kind of got things going back in our favor. And then the home run came.
One to Gennett is outside, 1-1. 222 average for the second baseman. Two and 1 to Gennett. That's up in the end. They have a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Gennett trying to get on base as he did in the 2nd inning. Cole delivers a strike at the knees, and it's 3-2. Garrett held the Tigers to 1 hit into the 7th inning and then left with the bases loaded. Gave up just 3 hits. Struck out 8 against Detroit. He strikes out Jeanette, comes all the way back to do it. He has struck out 4 in a row.
He's really doing it with some velocity and some good locations up.
Let's take a look now at today's Allegheny Health Network injury update. The Indians' Carlos Carrasco, who was hit in the jaw by a line drive Tuesday, through a bullpen session Friday. Today would have been his regular turn in the rotation, but now he's scheduled to make his next start tomorrow against the White Sox. One of those scary moments we were talking about earlier, Bob, when the ball comes back to you as a pitcher. It looked like it hit his arm first or shoulder, then right off the jaw. Jimenez now with a 1-1 count.
You got to make sure you protect yourself.
Luis Jimenez swing and a miss. Jimenez had a base hit, went down to second on the throw, ended up at second base on the play, and then would score on a base hit by Lucroy. And this one hit in the air to the left center field gap, hanging up. McCutchen underneath it. 2 down.
A real nice Sunday afternoon crowd.
I hope you'll come out and see the Pirates and Cubs starting tomorrow night.
A lot of sun when this game started. Now it's getting a little overcast. This evening might be a little rain moving in. I think we have a day game. There's that flags blowing in like you were talking about. Didn't seem to bother Pedro.
Nope, not at all. Hit it right through the wind. A comebacker. Garza hits it to Cole. And for the second straight inning, Cole retires the Brewers in order. The UPMC scoreboard says the Pirates have a 3-2 lead as we enter the bottom of the 4th inning. Today, not only a Kids Day, but it's Autism Awareness Day. And we take a look at this tweet that has come in. Sean Rodriguez meets with the group from Autism Speaks for today's Autism Awareness Day at PNC. That's Sean to give his time today. Probably see him later in the ball game at some point.
Often he goes in at first base in the last inning or so.
Garrett Cole walked his first time up, was stranded at third. That was back in the second inning. Ball and a strike. Garrett without a hit yet. That first one's coming. And another striker on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Garza's got his side, and the 1-2. Shot foul. Bob, you were saying if a pitcher is calling the game, is there another way to handle the signs, in your opinion? Instead of just the catcher giving it and the catcher trying to call the game?
I don't really think you need to change anything. Just, for well over 100 years, been yes and no. It seems to be working okay. So, I mean, there are guys that have, done the signals like I was showing earlier, to where, if you want to throw a slider.
But would you prefer to give the signs?
No, because if the catcher puts down what you want, then you can just pitch. That's the way you kind of look at it. And you get on a little roll, everything's working out. Why would you want to have to go through that? Why not just go ahead and put something down and go ahead and throw it? It makes catchers feel better too when they're allowed to do something like that.
Well, that's as good a reason as any.
Yeah, it gives them something to think about.
Just keep them involved in the game, right?
Otherwise it'd just be like cricket. You just throw somebody back there to keep the ball from going all the way to the. Do they have a backstop in cricket? They play on a big circle.
It's big. It's wide open.
But I don't think a wicket keeper throws down signs, do they?
I don't think so. Jay Hay pops this one up shallow right. Second baseman Jeanette. See the wind taking that into foul territory. And there are 2 out. You can save big on Pirates baseball this season with the Port Authority Connect card. Save up to $10 per ticket to Sunday through Thursday Pirates games. Get $10 off on lower outfield box and outfield box tickets, and save $6 per ticket on outfield reserved and grandstand seats. For tickets, go to pirates.com/connect card. Gregory Polanco, 2 outs, nobody on. And Gregory pops this one up, foul, out of play. Where was that? I think we were in Chicago a couple of years ago at a team function we had there at a restaurant, and wasn't one of the gentlemen who worked there explaining cricket to us? Remember that?
No.
You don't remember that?
Maybe it was too late in the evening for me to remember it.
Your memory shuts down when the street lights come on. I know that. Oh, 1 pitch. Gregory hits it off the end of the bat, foul. Well, it happened. I'll just tell you that.
There's been a lot more opportunities to watch cricket nowadays.
Well, the Little Bull has his second ball today.
Yep.
How about that?
Getting a nice collection.
It's a great seat, I guess. 0-2 and Polanco down on strikes. So for the first time, Garza retires the side in order. Garrett Cole come on to pitch in the top of the 5th.
here. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Pirates lead. And today is the first birthday for Jack David Melanson, Mark and Mary Catherine's son. And they're celebrating it today by giving thanks to some people who are very special to them. And that is Jack David on the left in the blue sweater with the vest. We'll tell you more about the baby on the right in a second. But they're hosting 14 doctors and nurses from the West Penn Neonatal ICU. You see, Jack was born 6 weeks early and spent almost 4 weeks in the NICU before heading home. Also in the suite is the little baby next to them. That's Braden, who was Jack's little roommate when they were in the hospital together. Now, they haven't seen each other since they spent that time together in the NICU. So it's their small way of saying thanks to the people who helped them through some tough times. And we're happy to report that both Jack and Braden are leading healthy lives and attending their first baseball game together today. Tim and Bob, how about that? Cool stuff. And the Melanson family, obviously very generous, and a very nice thing that they're doing, bringing all the doctors and nurses who helped Jack through a tough time.
Yeah, that is really great. Those people are very dedicated professionals. Pedro flips it to Cole, and Cole beats Segura to the bag. 1 out.
A very nice play. It's always one of the tough ones to make when the throw is kind of coming behind you as a pitcher. You're trying to find the bag. At the same time, you're trying to catch the ball. Excellent job by Pedro, giving him that ball out in front a little bit so he didn't have to stop and wait. And it was all started with a real good pitch. The location on these fastballs this afternoon, very impressive. Again, he gets in the kitchen, bad little jam shot, ball just rolling out toward first.
There's a Ray smile right there.
He's seeing good command of the fastball mixed with excellent velocity. Everything has been up to 95 and onwards all the way up. I think been at 98 quite a few times. That's pretty strong for a starting pitcher. You know that there are some relievers around the league that they throw quite a bit of the time up in the upper 90s, but they do it for 1 inning. They go out there, their typical afternoon is 15, 16 pitches. For a starter like Cole to go out and throw in the upper 90s, 100+ pitches every 5 days, that's impressive.
That is impressive. One thing we saw out of a real hard thrower a few years ago, Justin Verlander, you'd see him throwing in the low to mid 90s early in the game, and as the game would go on, his velocity would go up.
And that pitch number 100 would be 98, or pitch number 15 was maybe 94. Really was able to pace himself and was good enough with his location and all of his secondary pitches that it didn't make any difference early in the game. People used to say Verlander was his own closer. Once you got in the 8th and 9th, and he had turned that fastball velocity up a little bit.
With some velocity coming out of the Pirates pen this year. Saw with Archimedes Caminero, who fired a few in at 98, 99 last night.
Hit 101 a few times this year.
Lucroy to right field. Polanco will have to let it bounce. Lucroy with his second hit, 2 for 3. 1 out single. Time runners aboard in the 5th for the Brewers.
Cole kind of wears his emotions a little bit out there on his sleeve. You know how he's feeling. He does that though, and at the same time he's real good at, I think, turning the page. When the next hitter steps in there, it's gone. And some guys you don't like them to show emotion because it affects how they continue to pitch throughout the ball game. Cole, he can be a little upset, a ball falls in, not upset, but just show how he feels. But then as soon as he's back on the rubber again, he's right back and focused at his job. Everybody is an individual. You can't say that somebody has to be this way or that way. Ideally, you like kind of somebody out there that's emotionless.
Well, he's passionate about his craft.
But then,
sure.
you know, we've had hitters that are like that, and there's fans and stuff that don't like it.
Bounce to Walker, flip to Mercer for one. There it is, double play. Ryan Braun grounds into the inning-ending twin kill. 3-2 Pirates. Double play that Ryan Braun hits into. This is our Chick-fil-A double play.
See Garrett again showing those emotions on his sleeve. He is loving the double play ball. Those were good emotions that time. He was kind of applauding during the whole thing.
McCutchen is 1 for 2 with an RBI. Ground ball toward the middle. It's Segura there. Pitch and 1 out of the Pirates half of the 5th. Catch 1 for 3.
Reaction after the double play was made.
So far so good for Garrett Cole. Neil Walker 0 for 1 with a walk, struck out with the bases full in the 2nd inning. Strike 1. Swing, no, says third base umpire Corey Blazer. It's a 1-1 count to Walker.
He let everybody know. We could hear him up here. No, he didn't. You got to like an umpire that shouts out whatever the call is. Really gives the big sign, safe or out, whatever.
Like it. Don't leave anybody guessing. 2-1 and Walker up the middle. That's a base hit. And Walker a 1-out single. Pirates have a base runner. And let's go back to Paul Alexander on the Root Sports Studios with the State Farm game break. The Tigers putting on a show today. It was the White Sox who put it on yesterday. They put 12 runs on the Tigers. But today it's the opposite. Thank you, Paul. Marte down to third. Jimenez to second for one. Jeanette the turn. That's around the horn. And that ends the inning. We'll head to the sixth at PNC Park. Pirates 3, Brewers 2. Great shots from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo and catching Bacon Burt, breaking the tape, sizzling to a win. The newest pierogi.
Might be a new favorite of mine. I've always been a big backer of cheese, but I don't know, bacon.
I must ask you how you like Bacon Burt. That.
The only thing that'd be better if bacon and cheese ran into each other.
That's a great combo on anything. 1-0 to Adam Lynn. I'll have bacon and cheese on a patch of grass, please. Anything. It makes it taste better. Pierogies?
He's got the nice stash, too, doesn't he?
He does. Ground ball to Walker. Wobbles it, has time. It's on to Pedro to get Lynn. 1 out. Bacon Burt won the 100-yard stash. You know the bad mustache jokes we can throw in there?
There it is. I think somebody needs a beard while the beard's on the team.
Selfie. Baker put in some serious overtime on his beard. Chris Davis is 0 for 1. Reached on a base on balls in the first inning. Struck out looking in the third. 1-0 pitch. And there's a strike. Yeah, last night Bacon Burt took out Potato Pete. Potato Pete, who's been a pest in the pierogi race.
I think they all kind of gun for him because he's really been one of those kind of dirty racers that a lot of bad tricks. They don't like him.
Great shot from the Riverwalk. 1-2 to Davis from Garrett Cole. To the shortstop Mercer. He charges, one hand, flips to first, and got him. Very accurate throw, that sidearm flip by Jordy Mercer. 2 ground balls and 2 outs for the Brewers in the 6th. Follow the Pirates all season in 2015 with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet. 2 out, bases empty. Gerardo Parra, center fielder, up. 0 for 2, fly to left and struck out. Foul tip for a strike. It's outside. Parra came to the Brewers last year at the trading deadline. He was with the Diamondbacks, where last year he finished as a finalist for a Gold Glove at his position in right field. The Diamondbacks predominantly play center field here. He was actually working at first base some in spring training, trying to learn some more positions. Two-one from Cole. Now it's 3-1. 2 down, bases empty. Wrapping up this series with the Brewers today. Cubs come in. Game 1 tomorrow night. A 4-game series. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday afternoon, 12:35. A business person special. It's also a getaway day. Pirates will hit the road for their 2nd road trip of the year. They'll head out to visit Parra's old team, the Diamondbacks, in Phoenix.
Cubs coming into town with their new phenom,
Chris Bryant. Yep.
Made all that news during spring training.
3-2. Pirates are fouling greatly. Yeah, the Cubs and Padres currently are tied at 2 at Wrigley Field. They're in the 3rd. Chris Bryant getting a little more comfortable day by day. And again, he'll be here tomorrow. We'll expect to see him starting at third base for Chicago. Payoff pitch from Cole to Parra. Take a look at the Nissan road ahead. Jake Arrieta, A.J. Burnett tomorrow night. Lefty Travis Wood against lefty Francisco Liriano Tuesday. Jason Hamill and Vance Worley Wednesday. Thursday afternoon, Kyle Hendricks opposite Jeff Lott. Where's the problem is? A.J. at 0-1, looking for win #1 tomorrow. 3-2, ground ball to Walker. There's Neal. And a tidy inning, 3 ground balls. And the 4th straight inning that Garrett Cole has faced just 3 men. Brought to you by Yellowwood. Today, it's El Toro. Pedro Alvarez, home run number 4, with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Hit that one over the center field wall to give the Pirates a 3-2 lead. Pedro will lead off here in the 6th. Garrett Cole through 6. 95 pitches, 2 earned runs. Activity in the Pirates bullpen right now. Pedro takes outside ball 1. Cole would hit 4th this inning. Don't look too happy right now. Hurdle came over to him and put his arm around him. Might be it for him.
I would imagine.
Garrett feels he's got gas left in the tank.
Well, Garza had a little gas left in the tank. I kind of thought that his pitch count would be up at 100. He was definitely on that pace after 3 innings, but especially with that double play last inning, he's able to keep it down a little bit. Be over 100 at the end of this inning, but didn't think he'd make it through 6. Still might. Maybe the Pirate hitters have anything to say about it. Maybe they'll move him out of there. Nobody throwing in that Brewer pen.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Alvarez. Garrett working on a little cut on his thumb. Kind of scrape.
It's where the fingernail of your index finger comes down and you hit the back of your thumb at times. They'll cut it.
The 3-2 pitch to Pedro Alvarez. And he takes it for ball 4. Leadoff man is aboard for the Pirates in the 6th. Garza's pitch count continues to climb. He's at 94. Pirates have Jared Hughes up in the bullpen. He looks like he's ready to go. Usually doesn't take him very long to get ready anyway. Apparently he will take over for Cole in the 7th. I think you would think at this point the script would be Hughes, Watson, Melancon. 7, 8, 9. Oh, Mercer plunked.
And got him good.
Oh, Jordy.
Fastball way up and in.
Jordy in the wrong spot there for that pitch. Garza didn't want to hit him there. You could tell by his reaction.
Did it hit him in the chest?
I think it did, Bob. I think it got him square in the chest.
Got it right on the E of the Pirates.
Todd Tomczyk, trainer. Clint Hurdle is out there, and Jordy looks to be in some discomfort. Watch the reaction of Garza.
So he's upset with himself. Throwing it there. Lucky now he's shaking his head. Feels bad for Jordy. Obviously it doesn't improve his baseball situation. He's already up on his feet now. That's a good sign.
Mercer, a guy the Pirates certainly don't want to lose any time. He has been so steady at shortstop, and right now, looking like Clint Hurdle pointed into the dugout to Jung Ho Kang. Jordy may be coming out. I think he is. So Mercer will leave the game after being struck in the chest by a pitch from Matt Garza. And Jung Ho Kang will go out to pinch run. He'll stay in at shortstop. Jordy's in Spain. Ben Potenziano, another trainer, helping him down the steps, and they'll get him to the clubhouse right away. Garza with 95 pitches, and in the meantime, the Pirates have runners at first and second and nobody out.
They're still in a bunt situation. What do you think Stewart's thinking about?
Duck.
That's got to bother you a little bit. But you got to turn around, and you're getting the bunt. Got to get it down.
Jimenez way in on the grass at third. Stewart looks at it, gets away. Everybody moves up. So the job is done without a bunt. Alvarez down to third, Gunn to second. Wild pitch by Garza.
It's kind of odd that they would put the wheel play on and then throw a breaking ball. The whole idea of the wheel play is to have the other team bunt into it. So why are you throwing a curveball in the dirt? That doesn't make sense. The pitch selection, that's where the catcher should have said timeout. I got to go out and say we can't do that. We need to throw a strike so he'll bunt into the wheel play.
You want the hitter to make contact.
Absolutely. The wheel play's on. You're hoping he'll bunt it so that you can get that force out at third. Last thing you want in a wheel play is a curveball in the dirt.
Stu now with an RBI opportunity. Infielders playing even with the bases. Second and third, nobody out. 2-0 pitch. And Stewart to left field, a base hit. This is going to get two in. Pedro scores. Jung Ho Kang behind him. And the Pirates lead it 5-2. Welcome back, Chris Stewart.
That's a big hit right there. The way this game was going, you know that Cole is going to be coming out. It's just a one-run game. You want to get some kind of cushion built and build it now. Stewart taking advantage of that wild pitch, knocks them both home himself. It's got to be a good feeling, wouldn't you think, that your first game back after missing all that time to come up with a big hit like that?
On his first day back on the job, he already knows the thing to do back to the dugout after he drives in a run or two. Corey Hart will pinch hit, throw down to second base, and nothing doing. Stewart had a big secondary lead.
Well, they're trying to be aggressive this year. Anything in the dirt, they're going to assume that the catcher's just going to block it. You can move up. This ball's going to bounce, so Stewart takes off. And smart enough to know, uh-oh, I better throw on the brakes and head back.
Jung Ho Kang scores a run. Left-hander for Milwaukee is Neil Kotz. Pitch to Corey Hart. In the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Stewart, a 2-run single. Still nobody out. Trying to extend this lead for Garrett Cole, who's the pitcher of record. 3-0. And Ray Searage having some words. What does a pitching coach normally talk to a pitcher about at this stage of the game? He's out of the game. What's he going over, you think? Ground ball to short. Segura flips to Jeanette for one. That's a double play.
It could be anything. I mean, especially in this situation because he's pitched so well. It could be just calming him down, maybe telling him why he's out of the ball game and relax. This is modern baseball. You're not playing 30 years ago. You're not going to be allowed to get complete games. Could be about a certain hitter. Could be about throwing high fastballs that worked great today. Who knows what it could be about? Could be about, hey, you got to quit shaking off the catcher. He's calling the game.
You never know. Could be that. J-Hay, a diving stop by Jimenez. His throw. Oh, what a pick by Lind. Harrison robbed at both ends. Jimenez, a diving stop on a ball hit down the line. Took a double away from Josh Harrison. But the Pirates add 2 and lead it 5-2. Game changer. We just saw it. Chris Stewart with a 2-run single in the bottom of the 6th inning, scoring Pedro Alvarez and Jung Ho Kang done crossing the plate for the first time in the major leagues. Chris Stewart, 2-run single. It's a way to get back on the job. 5 runs, 7 hits, and an error for the Pirates. 2 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors for the Brewers. Jung Ho Kang remains in the game at shortstop. Jordy Mercer, who he pinch ran for, was hit by a pitch while he squared around a bunt that hit right in the chest. And those folks have on the Nexen Heroes jerseys. That was Jung Ho Kang's last team in the KBO in Korea. Got the right hats on, though. Jared Hughes throws his first pitch to Scooter Gennett for a strike. Swing and a miss.
Jared's numbers are a lot different from what he was sporting during spring training. Had a rough month of March, at least on the stat sheet. But when it's counted, as soon as the bell rang, he's been awesome.
Today, just barely getting a piece of that one, fouling it off. 1 for 2. He had a single and scored a run his first time up in the second. And struck out swinging in the fourth. Cole got him. Then Hurdle with a pat on the back for his starter. 0-2. That's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jeanette. Last time Jared Hughes came in behind Garrett Cole, what a job he did. He came in with the bases loaded, nobody out. Against the Tigers during the home opener. Ended up getting out of that jam. Rolled a double play ball. He ended up getting 3 outs on 3 pitches. Put out the fire. 2-2 pitch to Jeanette.
Taking a look right here at Zach's pitching chart that he just handed me. And it really hammers home how effective and how many fastballs that Cole threw today. I mean, we really used that number 1 pitch well.
A lot of called strikes, had a lot of swings and misses. Yeah. And there's a swing and a miss as Hughes strikes out Jeanette. 1 down for Milwaukee in the 7th. UPMC Sports Medicine strike zone. Everything away until strike 3.
Yeah, everything was moving away too. The ball running down, and then changes direction. Swings right over the top. Little pitching.
There is Zach. He just handed you the chart. Somehow he can chart behind that camera.
Yeah, he does a great job at it. It's like sitting next to a pitching coach. Keeps all the stuff for me.
Sometimes we joke and we say, you know, you just go to the staff and ask questions to budget your staff. You actually do have a staff now.
Oh, yeah. Home games, anyway.
Home games. Your staff is named Zach. He's also our stage manager here in the booth.
Manages the stage. Tells it what to do.
Makes out the lineup for the stage. Sandro Jimenez. Someday we'll have to debate that name and why is it that name. That'll be another day.
He really was impressive with today. It was his the donut delivery. Sundays he always brings donuts to us.
Yeah, the selection was outstanding today.
Very good. He'll have to go a ways to improve on what he did this afternoon.
1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and Jimenez down on strikes, and Hughes has come in out of the bullpen and struck out the first 2 men he has seen.
They went back to the classic sinker movement. We saw the strikeout with the slider go in the other direction. Watch the movement on this fastball as it just kind of goes in and takes a little dive toward the ankles.
So Hughes now will face another left-handed hitter, a pinch hitter. Matt Garza will be lifted for Logan Schaefer. Garza ends up going 6. 5 earned runs on 7 hits. Garza's ERA will go up to 5.40 from 4.22.
Yeah, we always think of Hughes as that ground ball guy coming to get the ground ball. I think he's got 10 strikeouts now on the year and 7 2/3 innings, becoming a swing and miss guy.
Well, as vicious as he is on the mound, he shows a soft side. Today he read to the Pirates Tales kids who are in today, and he read to Casey at the bat during one of the Pirates Tales kids meetings. While the Pirate Parrot acted out the part of Casey.
He is far from vicious. He could be the nicest guy in baseball.
1-1 pitch. That's right there for a strike. 1-2. Talking about donuts, Hughes trying to put up a donut against Milwaukee here. Schaefer awaits the 1-2 pitch. Pulls it foul. Pirates are playing Schaefer to hit to that side. bullpen. Cott's ready to go. The left-hander. He'll take over in the bottom of the 7th inning. And will face the top of the Pirates order. Or actually 2, 3, and 4. Harrison made the last out, but Polanco, McCutchen, and Walker. Two and 2. Gene Segura waits. He is in the on-deck circle. Leadoff man today for the Brewers. 2-2 pitch from Jared. In the air to left.
Positioning, huh?
Right there. And 1, 2, 3 go the Brewers. Jared Hughes retires the side in order. It is stretch time at PNC Park. We'll keep it here for our 7th inning stretch.
Here and abroad. Today, the Pirates and Sports Clips are proud to salute Corporal David Herron of the United States Marine Corps. And now here to lead us with God Bless America is Bill Stevens.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We invite you to follow the bounce.
Against the Brewers. Left-hander Neil Kotz facing Polanco. First ball swinging. Easy play for Jimenez. One pitch and one out in the Pirates' half of the seventh. Numbers on Kotz.
Pretty good at this point. The first 5 games. Not a lot of innings really to put much credit for that ERA. Can change in a hurry. We're sitting at 5 innings, that is. Nice strikeout to walk ratio, though, 7-1. He'd
pretty good.
Be happy to keep that going all year.
McCutchen is 1 for 3 with a run driven in. Pitch up and in and to the backstop. Ball 1 to McCutchen. Pitchers are taking notice, taking mental notes. AJ didn't look too happy. And that one inside again. Touch was hit last night. And it's 3-0 now to Andrew. Three balls, no strikes. McCutchen facing Neil Kotz, longtime White Sox reliever, also with the Cubs. Spent a little time with the Texas Rangers, also more recently, before coming to the Brewers. 35 years of age. Lives in Chicago now. Spent a ton of time there. 3-1 pitch. And McCutchen pulls it foul. Count is now full. Kotz taking over for Garza. Garza with 103 pitches in 6 innings. Ended up with 5 earned runs on 7 hits. And Tony Watson loosening up to pitch the 8th inning. Three-2 is popped up. Shallow center field. Parra under it. 2 outs. Stay tuned after the game for more of your Buccos on Inside Pirates Baseball. This week, we take you behind the scenes for an exclusive look at Andrew McCutchen's off-season commercial shoot with Sony PlayStation. See that and much more on Inside Pirates Baseball. It's presented by Allegheny Health Network today after postgame on Root Sports. Check it out. Kotz was one of a select few that participated in the making of a video game and that commercial for PlayStation. He's already been a cover boy on at least 2 video games.
He's a gamer. He likes to play those games.
He loves it. I think this year
he really enjoyed doing that shoot.
This year he is on the cover of the kids' baseball game, Backyard Baseball. Walker batting right-handed against Kotz. Ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Neal 1 for 2 with a walk today. Single in the 5th. This one's popped up. Shallow left. Coming on, Chris Davis. And coming back out to play it is Gene Segura. The shortstop will make the catch. And we're headed to the 8th inning. On comes Tony Watson.
of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Here's our day automotive, this day in Pirates history. This date, 1986, R.J. Reynolds celebrated his 27th birthday by hitting a fourth-inning grand slam. And the Pirates' 14-8 win over the Cubs. Bill Allman and Rafael Belliard both had a pair of hits, and they each drove in 3 runs as well. Pirates hoping to use the brooms. Getting a little closer, 6 outs away now. Tony Watson will pitch in the 8th inning. He'll face the top of the order, Segura, Lucroy, and Braun.
That opponent batting average against Watson is always way down there. That's one of the things that you count on with him. I guess there's 2 things. That he's going to throw strikes. He's not going to do the other team any favor. And they just don't get many hits off of him.
Segura takes ball 1. He's 0 for 3 with a run banded in. .326. He's off to a pretty good start. Last year struggled with the bat some. 2 years ago, a very good year. And that's a strike, foul off. 1-1. Now, news on Jordy Mercer, Bob. Word from the clubhouse is that he left the game due to pain in his rib cage, in the rib cage area, and he is being evaluated and treated. We'll get some more word on Jordy Mercer certainly tomorrow before the game with the Cubs. Meantime, Jung Ho Gung in at shortstop for him. In case you missed it, Jordy was squaring around a bunt and got hit in the chest with a pitch from Matt Garza earlier.
It really did look like he was having a little bit of a tough time taking a breath.
3-1 to Segura.
Let's hope that he doesn't have a problem with one of those ribs.
John Rodriguez, a guy who might be called upon to fill in too. You never know.
Serpico.
Saw a side-by-side of that the other day. This one's popped up and may be playable. It will be for Pedro. Alvarez retires Segura on a foul pop. Well, back in the 6th inning in a bunt situation. Alvarez on base. Jordy turned around, got it square in the chest.
That didn't hit anything but his chest, right on the E where it says Pirates.
Jordy was lifted from the game and went up to the clubhouse. Hope he's doing all right. Lucroy will take ball 1. Jung Ho Gung getting in there to play short. A little different deal for him this year as opposed to last year, years past in Korea when he was a regular everyday player and a star in the KBO. Now trying to adjust to life on the bench here in the major leagues.
It's what a lot of good young players have to deal with here all the time. But when they come through the minor leagues, they're playing every single day. If they're a good offensive player, they're probably in the middle of the lineup playing every single day. And then they get to the big leagues and they're most of the time their situations where they're having to play a much reduced role, and they have to get used to what it takes to do that, to pinch hit, to play maybe once a week. Not an easy thing when you're used to being an everyday guy.
He will get an at bat. He is due to hit 3rd in the bottom of this inning. 2-1 pitch to Lucroy. Swing and a miss. That's 2-2. Michael Blazing, right-hander, loosening up now for the Brewers. Bucks leading 5-2. 5 runs on 7 hits. The Brewers 2 runs on 5 hits. And this one in the air to center field. McCutchen breaking in on it. 2 down. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. welcoming Ryan Braun. Braun is 0 for 3. He has hit into a double play and struck out. Also hit into a fielder's choice. 2 outs, base is empty for Braun, and he takes a strike.
I think is there anybody else that comes into PNC Park that gets more boos than Braun? Off the top of my head, I got to say no.
I would say no.
He is booed every strikes.
You know, I thought this spring it was going to be interesting to see the Yankee fans' reaction to Alex Rodriguez, and we saw him in Tampa his first game as a position player. They booed him for about an at-bat or two and then started to cheer him.
Why would the Yankee fans boo him? He must get booed in other stadiums.
Yeah, but now he's cheered at home. And Braun strikes out.
Yeah,
good morning,
he's being cheered
good
down.
afternoon, and good night. He got him on 3 pitches. 5-2 Pirates. Hawthorne Heights, May 4th, stage AE. Hope, and the Pirates fans hoping to use the sweeper today. 5-2, bottom of the 8th inning. The Kids' Day Sunday afternoon. Got to stay hydrated. A little different than a sippy cup.
No backwash there, huh?
No. Here's Michael Blazek, his 5th appearance, facing Starling Marte to start the bottom of the 8th inning.
Another good ERA, but again, it's just 5 innings. Those ERAs for the relievers, they really can move around a lot this time of year.
So the Brewers have only sent 3 men to the plate in every inning from the 3rd through the 8th. After Garrett Cole gave up 2 in the 2nd, he struck out the side in the 3rd, sent a message, and ended up striking out Jeanette to make it 4 in a row. Braun striking out for the 2nd time, ending the inning. Braun 0 for 4. He's also hit into a double play. And the Pirate relievers, Jared Hughes and Tony Watson, with perfect hitless and scoreless innings. And Marte down to 3rd, foul.
If there were a couple of kind of tougher plays, but if a couple of plays were made they wouldn't have any runs, the Brewers. The play at third where the ball came out of Harrison's glove. It looked like, can't remember who the runner was going to be out. Was it
Jeanette, I think.
Jeanette, yeah, that's right. It was Jeanette. It looked like he would have been out.
It was in the second inning. That was just on a rifle of a throw by Marte. Left field. 3-2, and Marte is out on strikes. He is 0 for 4 today. Penguins are back home to host the Rangers in Game 3 of their first round series. We'll bring you all of the action from Consol Energy Center tomorrow starting at 6 with a special 1-hour pregame on Root Sports. Penguins tied up the series at a game apiece. A young Penguins fan, look at that hat. All Pens fans excited for Game 3. Penguins a chance to take the lead in that series. Pedro Alvarez has scored twice today. He's 1 for 2. Solo homer back in the third inning. Two balls, no strikes. Good to see him off to the start that he is off to. 7 RBIs for Alvarez.
Yeah, 4 home runs. I mean, that's really what you're looking for with Pedro. It's not really about batting average. It's that instant run production. At least that's what Little Bowl is telling me.
And Pedro in the air to center. Parra drifting back. Still drifting back, and he makes the catch up against the wall.
Boy, a 398-foot out. Pedro almost had another. But Parra hung with it, made a great catch.
If he didn't have that little bit of a breeze blowing straight in from center field, this one's going to be in the bullpen just like his last one. Parra initially kind of turned the wrong way, had to make a course correction. Able to glove it just before he hit the padding.
And with 2 outs and the bases empty, Blazek will face Jung-Ho Gun. He is 1 for 10 in the major leagues. Blazek holding his breath here.
He's not sure. He's hoping.
Well, there'll be others, Pedro. Pretty sure of that. And it is 3 balls and no strikes to Jung-Ho Gun.
I believe they'll be pretty excited when he gets this base hit. They want him to be a hero.
Next end hero. 3-0. That's ball 4. 4-pitch walk. And Gunn will take his spot down at first base. Well, you gotta say this. The fans of baseball in Asia are extremely enthusiastic. Have you ever seen a game involving pro teams in Japan or Korea, or even the national teams involving Japan, Korea, Chinese Taipei? It's like a college football game. It's crazy atmosphere. The fans chant, they sing, they have these plastic things they bang together all game. It's really an interesting atmosphere. They are very, very enthusiastic.
Did you see the thing the other day? They're throwing out the first pitch for the group of guys in the suits all dressed the same.
No, I didn't see that.
There's no way I can describe it. You'll have to. Maybe we'll find it and show it to you.
Get your staff to look
yeah,
it up.
I'll have a look at it. It was hilarious.
Chris Stewart with the big hit of the ball game so far, providing some insurance. It was a 3-2 game in the 6th with 2 on and nobody out. Stewart a 2-run single. Ball going back to the bag. And this Point Park University tweet. Welcome back, Chris Stewart. Hashtag Bucks Booth. You can always get us up here in the booth during the telecast. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Your thoughts on the ball game. And a strike to Stewart. Wind kind of picking up a little bit more, Bob, and probably means
rain's coming.
There's rain on the way.
Rain is coming.
I know you saw the radar during the break a while ago. Didn't look too good.
The whole state of Ohio looks very green right now. It's yellow blotches, whatever that means.
Couple of hops down to Segura. Goes a short way to Jeanette. Force out Gung. And we'll go to the top half of the ninth inning. Mark Melancon will try to close it out. Terrific shots from the Allegheny Health Network Supermode to the tune of New Mexico by Nevada Color. As we head to the top of the ninth inning, the Pirates 3 outs away from a series sweep over the Brewers and to get back to 500. Sean Rodriguez takes over at first base, part of a double switch. He enters in the 9 spot, and entering in Pedro Alvarez's spot in the batting order is Mark Melancon, looking for his second save. Picked up his first save Friday night, and in the process tied Jim Gott for 9th place in the club's all-time saves list with 50.
I was able to get the 1-out save. Those are nice. I really like that.
The next guy to catch for Melancon is Bill Landrum, who is 8th on the list with 56 saves. Adam Lynn takes a strike. It's 1-1. Lynn 1 for 3 today. Ball right side. Rodriguez is there. Toss to Melancon and 1 out. So 1 down for the Brewers in the top half of the ninth. The Pirates continue this homestand with a series against the Chicago Cubs. See the second game of their 4-game set Tuesday, starting at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Tomorrow night locally, radio only. Pirates and Cubs game 1. And on Tuesday when we're back, it'll be Twitter Tuesday. So Always a big night for Robbie. Swing and a miss.
A nice cutter at 90 miles an hour. Something that everybody's kind of been talking about lately, the velocity of Melanson. Nice to see him in the 90s with that cut fastball.
0-1 pitch. It's fouled back. And I know, Robbie, you'll be watching the Pens tomorrow night, but Tuesday you're all geared up for Twitter Tuesday.
Yeah, we're ready, and we get the guy last night who threw 8 innings, 8 solid innings. That man right there on your left, that's Jeff Locke. He'll be our guest. The hashtag is Bucks Tuesday. Tweet him to us. Use the hashtag Bucks Tuesday, and Jeff will answer your questions on Twitter Tuesday, the first of many guests we have coming this year, Tim.
All right, Robbie. 0-2 pitch to Chris Davis. And that's into left center field for a hit. Davis will turn first. Takes a big turn. McCutchen gets the ball in. 1-out single in the ninth. 1 on and 1 out for Milwaukee.
Melanson not locating that pitch very well, especially with a 0-2 count. So they paid the price. Brewers have a runner.
Well, sets up a double play.
Yes, it does.
Gerardo Parra, tough guy to double up. 0 for 3. Rounded out to Walker at second last time up. And follows this one back, strike one.
Good cut action on that one again at 90. When I say cut action, that's the movement that takes the ball toward the left-hand hitter a little bit. Just moves it in on him, or of course away from a right-hand hitter.
One to Parra. Got a ground ball to Walker. There's one, and there is your ball game. The Pirates sweep the Brewers. They win it here today, 5-2. Take care of business. They won 5 of 6 against Milwaukee this year.
The string of excellent starts continues. Cole, outstanding this afternoon. Really made it look easy. Had all those 1, 2, 3 innings, and the Pirates able to get a home run, able to add on a little bit, with their offense. Everything's clicking pretty nice right now. I'm really looking forward to this Cub series.
Pirates will finish this series on an up note. First time they've swept the Brewers here since the 2013 season. So Clint Hurdle's crew will enjoy this one and then prepare for the 4-game series with Chicago starting tomorrow night here at PNC Park. Final score 5-2. Pirates win it. Let's check in now with Paul Alexander and Kent Tekulve.
All right, Tim and Bob, thank you very much. And Teak, we talked about it in the pregame. Last year, the Pirates had 14 opportunities, which is a good number to sweep. They only pulled it off 4 times. This is a great start. Sweeping the Brewers is no small task.
It's no small task sweeping anybody in Major League Baseball, but you're right, Paul. And they're able to come back, take advantage of a Brewers team that was down a little bit. First 2 games kind of dominated them with the pitching. Today, Cole not quite as sharp as he was the last time around when he beat the Brewers up there, but he did his job, turned it over to the bullpen. All those elements together goes to 3 consecutive wins and a sweep for the Pirates, and all the people who brought their brooms today are going to go home happy.
And how about this? A nice return for Chris Stewart. His first start, his first game back off the DL. He's standing by right now with our own Robbie Inzmikowski. Robbie?
Yeah, Chris Stewart, 3 at-bats into the season, and he knocks in 2 runs on the single. But first, the big story, completing the weekend sweep of the Brewers. What does that do for a team when you face a divisional opponent that much early and win 5 of your first 6?
That's big. Especially, we kind of struggle a little bit early on. Coming in here, the bats were a little off. First game on, we got the bats going. We started scoring some runs. Starting pitching did what they've been doing the whole time, and, we got some 3 big wins.
We talked to you in the pregame. We talked about how underrated your contributions might be. Your 3rd at-bat in, you widen the gap here and help put some offense on the board. How did it work so quick for you?
It was big. Pedro got a good read, got over to third base, second and third. And I'm just trying to get a ball up to get to the outfield. Unfortunately, I got a good pitch to hit, and I didn't miss it.
Cole had to work hard the first 2 innings and throw a lot of pitches, but he was dominant in the final 4 innings he threw. What was his key on the mound?
Yeah, we started getting his fastball going later on in the game. He's got a great fastball. He was locating it where he needed to, going up and down. mixing in the other speed, but predominantly he was fastball happy, and we were able to put guys away.
This place almost jam-packed the last 2 nights. What's the home experience like?
Oh, I love it. I love playing in Pittsburgh in front of all these fans out here. We love it.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, Paul, how about that? Chris Stewart helping the way. The Buccos come away with a weekend sweep of the Brewers.
Yeah, welcome back, Chris Stewart, indeed. As we promised during the course of the broadcast, we're going to bring you Miller Time. It is brought to you by Miller Lite, and they call him Daedro for a reason. Pedro Alvarez, 4th home run of the year, and yes, that is the 3rd home run coming during the daytime. Pedro and Daedro, our Miller Lite Miller Time of the day. Certainly a big victory for the Pirates. They get out the brooms and sweep the Brewers. Teak and I will break it all down for you. Coming up on Pirates Postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network. All of that is straight ahead. Stay with us right here on Root Sports.